Hey, what is up YouTube? Andrew Rooney here. We are back with a PayPal request. It is for Barry. I'm going to read out the message. Hey Andrew, big fan of your channel. I've noticed not much progressive rock. IQ is an example of a neo-prog band, although this piece is in more of a symphonic vein. Think Genesis as an example. The drummer is Andy Edwards. The music isn't slash and burn. Sure what that even means. There are tasteful melodic bits and bits where they rock out, but I think Andy is up to the task. Keeps a nice pocket throughout. I'm interested in your thoughts on not only his drumming, but the music itself, as it's a departure from your usual gig. Thanks, Barry. Now, just a quick heads up. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to approach this video yet because I've had a few back and forths with Barry. This video is way longer than I would normally feature on the channel. And I can tell from the analytics that people just do not want to see me watching very long videos, to be quite honest, especially if it's not, overtly spectacular drumming stuff. We're going to see how it goes. I did mention to you out there, Barry, that I might just end up highlighting some of the parts that speak to me or that I think really stand out. So yeah, I'm really not sure how I'm going to approach this video yet, but I'm going to dive in without ever having seen it. Really important on this one, as with all of my videos, but extra important on this one, original video link, as always, in the description of each of my videos. So that is there. If I do end up cutting this up and just doing like a highlights clip from the video, I suggest checking out that original video. With that said, it is a long one. Strap in. It is IQ, who I've never heard of, Harvest of Souls, live in the US. 2005. Let's check it out. Okay, I am going to skip it forward a little bit because we're 4 minutes and we haven't had any drums at all yet. So I'm going to go from the 4-minute mark. Killer. Okay, unfortunately the audio in the video is a little bit out of sync here. So it's just one of those things. Let's keep it going.
Shoot you where you stand.
Now we're getting froggy. That takes a lot of control. Wow. Bass. Okay, I haven't said much so far because it's really hard to know where I can pause this video because there's just so much going on. Playing is absolutely exceptional, really tight ensemble playing with difficult figures as well. These guys are absolutely nailing it. The vocals are great. I'm going to go back on the edit and actually put the video of this and the audio in time because it is a little bit distracting how it is off. But let's keep it going. Great pocket too.
I'm brought to life with a series of shocks. I realize
Nice little Charleston rhythm there.
my life, and still I cling to the fear of the dark. Don't follow them, for they don't care how you walk. And I'm finding a way of being,
Great vocal melodies.
accepting life all alone. And I'm hoping I'll wake up seeing a way to live on my own. It wasn't hard to believe in the lie, although I've come to know it wasn't my fault. Why does the world continue to spin while everything around me grinds to a halt? And I'm finding a way of being, accepting life all alone. And I'm hoping I'll wake up seeing a way to live on my own.
Okay, we're about halfway through. It probably looks on my face like I'm not enjoying this. I'm actually quite enjoying this. I appreciate this level of musicianship and this type of music. Reminds me a lot of Steve Hackett. Now, I was lucky enough to go to see Steve Hackett with my buddy Craig Blundell on drums, and this reminds me a lot of that. Now, you mentioned, Barry, in the comment, Genesis. So there you go. I'm hearing it. I'm going to make a wild guess that this group is English, perhaps, despite all the American thing before. I bet you this is English. Just a hunch. Let's keep it going. Hold on, is this one song? Holy cow, I just did a bit of research. It is actually one song. This is quite incredible. It's a challenging listen. Also, with my face and whether you think I'm appreciating or enjoying the music, this is a challenging listen. This type of music is challenging, so don't read too much into my face. Let's keep it going.
Like a star so bright, anybody can see anytime.
Amazing.
All expression, a farewell to superstition. We enter an age of permanent doubt, where we communicate without words, but the noise expands as it covers the lie of the land.
Wow. Catching the vocal phrasing.
Like a star so bright, till we shut out the light, put out the fire, cut through the smoke and the noise.
Now I love that rhythm, catching the vocal phrasing on the bam bam da 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 da. Super, super cool. Love it. Oh,
Lately I've been talking to myself, been remembering, doing little else. The road ahead,
interesting.
anything but clear. Last time around, where do we go from here?
Haunting. Nine 4, I think here. Playing is superb.
What about some golden hours? I was alive, suddenly you were wrong. Anyone could be persuaded, given the time, we all scream alone. What about this good for nothing season again? Everything's come and gone. And I can't
9-4, I think, yeah.
believe I'm not watching you. I'm in a sorry state. Return
Amazing.
What about those colder cowards arming against lost intelligence? Anyone who saw me crawling there would have known that I was normal once. Return to ordinary thoughts. Too young to take the stand, but old enough to kill anyone.
Another fill.
In the days when love divided up the looks, no drastic means were used like rubber hooks to enhance what nature's come to have designed. No augmentation needed to refine. In the valley of the dollar we rejoice, for plastic is the common safe choice.
3-4 here, I believe.
Strictly for the birds, your cash is fun.
Driving it hard. Yikes.
When I held myself aloft, I walked across the water. Now I barely cut across.
Difficult music. Really difficult music here.
When they open up another door to a border far below. For the time that I'm allowed, there's a new horizon. But a soul as cold as ice is nothing to rely upon. If I'm hanging on to angels' wings, then I'm safer in the air. Do I still qualify? Suspended from on high. No other sanctuary have I.
Killer rhythms.
And when the eyes of children see past the ones left standing, then the time has surely come to understand who we are.
There we go, the title of the song. It might be the first time we've heard that. Beautiful dynamics. It's that guitar effect. Phenomenal. Standing ovation right there.
Thank you. Good night.
Phenomenal. All right, guys, please don't misunderstand if I do end up having to cut this up to make it a little bit more bite-sized and sort of appealing for the subscribers. Don't think that I think some parts of it are boring or that some parts of it are not worthy or whatever. It's just I kind of got to do what I got to do in terms of that. Right, so a couple of things that stood out to me right off the top. Guitar tone. I talk about this all the time. You can tell the level of a player within a bar. Guitaring was phenomenal. I could already tell this is a heavy group. I know nothing about them. There weren't a lot of views on that video. It doesn't matter. I know that these are heavy players. Vocals. Wow. That's all I'll say. Wow. Vocally though, in terms of lyrics, I never, even if the lyrics are really clear, which they were here, on a first time listen, I never really get into the story with lyrics. I'm more focused on what's happening band-wise. So I did miss the messaging, and I mentioned that it's a challenging listen. So that could explain if you see some of my face sort of like a little bit judgy or a little bit, I don't know, might even look angry. It's because it's a challenging listen. I'm trying to concentrate and listen as opposed to just and like having happy times. So the challenging listen combined with not quite sure what we're talking about vocally, and then there's the corporate sort of messaging and the USA stuff, and I wasn't quite sure where all that's going. So hit me in the comments if you do know. Of course, this type of music, there's always going to be different time signatures. It sounded like there's quite a bit of 3 if you depending on how they're feeling it, 6 or 3. The drummer, phenomenal, absolutely fantastic drummer, no doubt about that. One part that I really liked, he played tightly and appropriately, and he nailed all the time signatures throughout. But I loved when it went into that march part, it was just snare drum. Like, that says a lot. That tells you a lot about, you know, whether a player's schooled and well versed and all that type of stuff versus, for lack of a better term, just, you know, sort of a band drummer. And I love band drummers as well, but there were just some really classy accents and rolls, and it sounded killer, and you could tell that, okay, this is a serious drummer, sounds great. All right, IQ, neo-prog, and I mentioned before, it reminds me a lot of Steve Hackett. This, you know, would have fit in with that vibe at the Steve Hackett gig that I saw, which I adored. Live, incredible, probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to, actually. So I really dug this. And Barry, thank you so much for this, and thank you for convincing me and getting this one over the line. is incredibly long, far longer than I normally do, but I'm glad we did it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, and leaving a comment. I would love to hear your take on this one. Until next time, take it easy. Keep chopping wood. Ciao.